everyone. My name is Evan Preston from EMFX.
My name is Jake Parrish from EMFX, and this is This Week in Geek, that weekly internet news show where we talk about everything you're interested in media, from movies, video games, to comics, to music, to anything. And we've got a big, jam-packed week for y'all here, so we're just gonna jump right into it, I think.
Yeah, let's do it, man.
All right, what's first?
First is the new Batman and Deadpool comic book.
Oh, so excited we get to do an actual comic update. It's like a treat. It's a rare treat, but they're doing it.
Yeah.
DC Marvel, official hardcore crossover. And I know they're going to have more of them. I've heard rumors that they're going to do something with Daredevil down the pipe. But this is first, Batman, Deadpool. What do you think about that?
So, well, I mean, Batman is my absolute
He's a Batman
favorite.
scholar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but what's interesting about this, right, is you have DC's most serious character mixed with Marvel's most unserious character.
The funniest character you can get.
Yeah, so we have DC, a very grounded, character. You see Matt Reeves and Christopher Nolan, kind of grounded stories, right?
Yeah, that's like the interpretation of Batman.
Exactly. And then you have
got the Ryan Reynolds movie.
He's got the Ryan Reynolds. He's breaking,
the fourth wall. He's going past the fifth wall. He's then turning around and talking about how he broke both of those walls.
Yeah, exactly.
And then like the Daredevil Wolverine movie was just this whole meta narrative.
And it's good you bring that up, because I feel like that's going to be the dynamic we get here, right?
Yeah.
Wolverine and Batman are very serious, right? They're similar in tone, and if we can get that kind of comedy out of this comic book, it'll be gold. It'll be great.
I think this is a really cool look for the comics industry. I think this comes at a time where the comics industry is in a really weird moment.
Yep.
So I think them just coming together to make this massive collab, I think it's really cool. And speaking of kind of more in the art world, let's talk about the dynamic duo concept art controversy.
Yeah. So, it's funny because there's multi layers to this topic. First of all, there was a supposed leak that the dynamic duo concept art leaked. Right?
This is an upcoming animated film?
This is an animated, so it's supposed to blend stop motion with animation, CGI, and elements of live action. And so basically what we're getting is kind of this like cool stop motion thing.
Wow,
right?
It's like a Who Framed Roger Rabbit, but for Batman.
Yeah, right.
It's awesome.
But yeah, so some concept art has supposedly leaked, right? For Dick Grayson and Jason Todd. And
talking about precious. The community is so protective of Jason Todd, which we can see by the community's reaction to this concept art, which was like, we love Dick Grayson's look. What'd you do to Todd?
Yeah, man, his hair is just...
He has a strange, like, faux hawk. He's got the slingshot, which is not even the right Robin, and I know that.
Right, Harry Kelly, come on.
So a lot of people were like, well, what's going on? Well, a couple days ago, we found out this is a fake leak.
Yep.
Officially from the studio who's developing it. I don't remember the name of the
Swaybox.
Swaybox. They posted on Instagram this was a fake leak. And it's funny because we were reading all these articles on it. And then suddenly all those articles had to be taken down.
Yeah.
So I think it's interesting here, just kind of taking an inside look at the media world. If we hear rumors, most people immediately jump on it.
Yep.
I guess nobody reached out to the production house to see if it was real.
Yeah.
And part of me is like, what if it's not true? It is real. This was designed to gauge feedback on the design.
That's very, very, very possible.
A little bit conspiracy here, I'll admit, but you never know. Either way, just an interesting look at how the media landscape works. And, a lot of people are really quick to pull the trigger, especially when they get a negative reaction.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about something maybe positive.
Talk about something very positive. Cyberpunk 2077. We're bringing it up again because they're doing another update. This is the third update after they said they are done making updates, specifically content.
They can't help themselves.
We already have news that the update is coming out, and there's been leaks from the Virtuous team, which is a team that CD Projekt Red hired to help make content for Cyberpunk, that this is going to be a content update. This is not just a fixing things update. This is not just an update to get it to work on the Switch 2. Apparently, there will be some content. So we're really excited about that.
Yeah, I mean, I can't stop playing Cyberpunk 2077.
No,
I always go back to it.
It's so good. It's like our gaming home. And quick news, but we just really excited about it. Quick shout out here. The EMFX team, new short film, Call of Duty short film, just released on the channel. Would you like to talk about that a little
Yeah,
bit?
man. So we have been working really hard the last few months on a Call of Duty short film, written and directed by our very own Nick Chevalier, and we're really proud of it. I mean, we did this on zero budget, and if you guys could go and give it
Just some love.
just some love, give it a view, comment whether or not you liked it,
Yeah.
and yeah, or don't.
Or don't comment that you hated it. Comment either way. The algorithm loves it. We'll put a link to it in the description of this video. Let's talk Witcher.
Yeah, Witcher 4.
Witcher 4 cinematic. I am pumped.
So yeah, it. Let's keep in mind it is a Unreal Engine 5
Tech
demo.
demo. It's not the final build of The Witcher. I heard it was like a demo build specifically for this.
Right, and I can't help but wonder if CD Projekt Red is saying this just so they can kind of save themselves from the backlash they got from those demos of Cyberpunk, right?
That we're not the same.
Right,
Not the
because
same game.
Cyberpunk 2077, for those who don't know, were also done by the creators of The Witcher, right? CD Projekt Red. And back when Cyberpunk released, they were receiving a lot of backlash because the gameplay on launch did not look like what they were showing.
And it came out later. Those demos they revealed were not even in the build of the game. The demos were made specifically to be demos. And truthfully, this is an industry kind of like open secret.
Yeah.
But now that came out, I think they're trying to save face and they're trying to show specifically that this demo is made for this. I think personally, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Personally, if they reveal it, if they tell us that this is just the demo, but this is what they want it to look like, that for me is more honest.
Yeah, and it's kind of cool, right? Because it's like, okay, if CD Projekt Red had unlimited resources, right, and their vision was fully realized, that's what we get.
That's what we get.
I mean,
that'd be incredible.
Let's just talk about The Witcher 4 for a second. So for those who don't know, The Witcher 4 is, you're going to be playing a Ciri, right? Which some people are.
There's been some controversy.
There's some controversy. I mean, me personally, I would prefer we told a different story altogether.
Yeah, move on from these characters.
And I love Ciri, but that's partly why I want to move on, right? Because I have my own headcanon of where the story went after Ciri.
Where it ended. I think a lot of people did, and this will directly question that.
It will, and it would be interesting because in The Witcher 3 there are 3 endings, right? Or maybe 4. I don't know. And if they have the option to basically choose at the very start of The Witcher 4, okay, this was the ending I picked.
How are they going to deal with that?
But they might, because here's the deal: the way Cyberpunk started was with 3 different paths, and then you played about an hour or 2 hours of each one of those paths,
and then
they all merge.
Yeah.
So if they do that, which they very well could, I would be okay.
That could be cool.
I would be okay with it.
Yeah.
And CD Projekt Red is really creative. They know what they're doing. They do know what the fans want.
And the game looks great. The gameplay looks really cool. The exploration looks amazing. The world design is beautiful. And you know what's funny? Why do we know what this looks like way more than the Elder Scrolls 6?
Right?
Let's pivot there for a second because Bethesda, this game is not going to come out for a long time, and we have a gameplay trailer. When did the Elder Scrolls 6 reveal? Was it 2019?
Oh, I don't know, but it was a
while ago. More than 5 years, and we know nothing.
We really don't.
We know nothing,
and
we don't even know what engine it's going to use. Are they going to use the Create engine?
I don't know.
I hope not.
Comment down below and tell us, because we don't know.
If it is available, if it's out, what engine they're going to use, please let us know. We're dying to know.
But let's talk about Bethesda for just a second, because they released Oblivion Remake, which was cool.
Did pretty well. Not perfect release, bunch of bugs.
But even let's talk about the next gen. What is going to be the
what do they have?
Standard, right?
Because Starfield came out kind of a bust.
Yeah, I liked it. I played a lot of Starfield, but if you compare Starfield to some other things, it's like,
let's take Starfield in New Vegas.
Yeah, even that.
Or even just Skyrim.
Right. But I mean, like, if we're really talking about the fantasy genre, they're gonna have to do something absolute. They're gonna have to go like think GTA 6 level creativity
Of
because
huge.
that's how big
Yeah.
Skyrim was at
Yeah.
the time. It
It
was
was revolutionary.
massive. It was massive. They're gonna have to do something like that if they want to stay on the map
I agree.
because like we're seeing all these things. Heck, Crimson Desert is coming out. We've got Elden Ring still being
Still
awesome,
pumping out content. They
right?
just dropped the multiplayer version of Elden Ring, Night Rain.
Yeah.
We have all these companies, all these devs, they're making huge moves. Bethesda, they have to wake up. Microsoft needs to wake up Bethesda. Microsoft barely has a horse in the race at this point.
Right.
I'm worried about the future for Bethesda and really, really worried about Microsoft. I don't know if we're gonna see another Xbox.
Yeah.
On to some more weird positive news. Hi-Rez, developer of Smite, Smite 2, Paladins, a couple other games, which by the way, loved Smite, lost most of my high school playing Smite. They went through another round of layoffs. They went through a round of layoffs earlier the year. They lost about 70 devs. This round of layoffs is different. They fired execs and they fired the president of Hi-Rez.
Wow.
Yeah. This is crazy. I don't know if I've seen this before. There's layoffs and it's focused specifically on the people in charge, higher upper management. In fact, I have a quote here from one of the devs who was talking on Reddit. Unfortunately, there were a handful of layoffs in senior management positions only last Thursday, Cantori under his username Kilgoon said. Stu is transitioning away from Hi-Rez as part of this. Travis and Radar were also affected, as well as 2 folks in senior management on the Rally Here side of the business. I am very sad to be losing all of them. That comes from Alex Cantore, a Smite dev at Team Forge. So, to reiterate, no devs working on Smite 2 were touched. No devs working on Paladin were touched. It is purely upper management.
Wow.
I think this is what we're going to have to see from the industry going forward. I think Hi-Rez, they are a weird company. They've always made a bunch of weird choices. I think they've realized that their president has shot them in the foot one too many times. And I guess it was a board of directors' decision to get rid of them.
Well, hopefully it turns out for the good.
I really do. Smite 2 is not in a great place right now because they're working on Smite and Smite 2 at the same time. It's always really hard to do. Play Smite 2 if you can. It's really cool. I really like it. Hi-Rez is a weird business, but it seems like they've gotten rid of a lot of the junk. Now, let's talk movies.
Yeah. Fantastic Four new teaser trailer came out. So we're really excited about Fantastic
If
Four.
you couldn't tell by my strange yelps.
But yeah, we saw the new trailer. We're
Looks
digging
good.
it.
Looks
We're
good.
digging it.
They're going full retrofuturism. I was worried they weren't going to do it, but they're doing it. The car.
The flying car.
Oh, the Fantastic Mobile, or whatever it's called. It's not called that, but it's so good.
It looks awesome.
It looks awesome. I'm becoming more convinced of Pedro Pascal as Mr. Fantastic every day. I was originally on the fence. I really liked the John Krasinski casting, but Pedro is a fantastic actor. He was just awesome in Game of Thrones. That still might be the best thing I've seen him in. But I think he could do this role really well. I'm excited for most of the cast. Not sold on Human Torch yet, but the trailer is giving some really good arguments.
Yeah.
I think it looks great. I think this is the most important Marvel movie of the last 5 years.
I agree. I mean, Marvel and DC
Yeah.
are in a very similar boat right now, right? I mean, DC more so like they've got to nail Superman.
DC
they have to.
Needs a huge win. They need to revitalize their film industry. And then Marvel also needs it. They need a kick in the pants to get people to start caring about the MCU. I think they realized they flooded the gates way too much.
Yeah. I mean, Thunderbolt was a good kick in the right direction, but like
It lost $100 million.
Exactly. Right? So what they need is money.
They need a winner.
Yeah.
If they can't get a winner from Fantastic Four, I don't know who's going to watch the Doomsday movie.
Yeah.
With, like, no Captain America, no Thor, Iron Man is now Doctor Doom. Man, if you're not selling me, I don't know how you're going to sell everybody else. I'm a nerd. We're geeks.
Well, let's talk about something that did sell us.
Oh, boy.
James
Bond, IO Interactive, developer of the Hitman series. You could not make a better pairing if you tried.
Yeah.
I
mean, okay, we were literally talking our sophomore year.
Yeah, it's like,
right?
who would make the best James Bond?
We were literally playing Hitman.
We're like, man, this would be a great James Bond.
This would be so good if it was
James Bond game. I remember. And that, if you If you're talking bang for your buck, I stand by Hitman 3 World of Assassination. The amount of content you can get for $60, because it's all of the content from Hitman 1, 2, and 3,
Yeah, that's
plus like the roguelike mode they added. I don't know if you knew about that. They added like a roguelike procedural generation mode where you go in and do different missions and get different items. Oh!
Yeah, it's crazy.
And so you're taking that gameplay system, which is like, hey, have you ever wanted to be a spy? Okay, here you go. Be a spy.
Yeah, freaking James.
James Bond.
So there is something that people are complaining about,
Oh.
which is, why does he look so young? Well, it's because it's an origin story, guys. I mean, he didn't always look, you know.
He wasn't always grizzled, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Daniel Craig played an older James Bond.
Yeah, he played an
just
older, like, sociopathic James Bond.
Yeah,
It's a great Bond. I love it. It really got into like the part of the character, but I think they're going pulpy.
yeah.
They're going like full like Sean Connery classic, and I'm a huge fan.
Oh yeah.
I think we're both just. I think I am more stoked about that game than I have been about a game in a long time.
Well, my roots of playing video games were, you know, I would go over to my best friend's house. We'd play GoldenEye.
Yeah.
On the
the classic 64 one.
No, yeah, man, on the Wii.
Yeah.
And it's like, man,
It's
if
still
I
game.
can bring back those nostalgic memories, like, they've got me, dude.
They got me.
And plus Hitman, like
The Hitman gameplay is ridiculous, and if they integrate the VR system they had going in Hitman,
that
could be nuts.
would be crazy.
So we've got one last thing for us today, but it's a doozy. Today is the official launch of the Switch 2, and there's no reviews. There's none. For the first time in 20 years, they have not released the Switch 2 for pre-reviews. I'm going to read a quote from Andy Robinson from Video Game Chronicle talking about this. A big fan of his work. According to Nintendo, they elected to not release the Switch 2 for pre-release review for the first time in 20 years of creating video games and consoles because important features and updates will only be available on an update launching on the official delivery date, June 5th. I don't call it. Continuing the quote, a lack of coverage at or before release is bad for you or readers. When Switch 2 arrives, there will have been no reviews of its software, no analysis of its hardware performance or battery life, or any testing of the key features, such as game chat, or how backwards compatible Switch 1 games perform. No hidden games will be unearthed, and no potential dodgy ports highlighted before you have a chance of spending your hard-earned money. I really have a problem with this. I really, really do. It's so anti-consumer. First, to not have it drop for release, and then to say that it has to be done because of a day one patch. I don't buy it.
It's weird.
I just don't buy it. And when reviews arrive, they're going to be rushed out in order to get it out. It's going to be clickbait. You're not going to have a solid review of the console for at least a month. It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't reveal any of the starting exclusive games for review. And side note here, we should make a list of all the Switch 2 exclusive games dropping. The following list is every game exclusive to the Switch 2 that is not on any other console for its $400 price tag. Fast Fusion, Mario Kart World, Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour. I'm putting here because it's $10. You have to pay for the Welcome Tour. Puro Puro Tennis 2, which adds a two-player mode to an already existing game of Puro Puro Tetris 2. Shine Post, Be Your Idol, which is a Japanese exclusive, so if you're in the States, it goes back down. Survival Kids. And Nintendo Classic Nintendo GameCube, which is an additional expansion for the existing Nintendo Classic series. So now you have to pay $20 to play GameCube games.
Can you tell he's passionate about this?
I'm not thrilled. I'm not thrilled. What are we doing, guys? What are we doing, Nintendo? I don't know. I'm just sad. It's anti-consumer. It's not fair. You should have reviews out for stuff that people are going to spend $400 on. It's not rocket science. Nintendo have had 40 years in the game. They know this. They just don't care. It's Wii U all over again. Call the ambulance. Wii U, Wii U, Wii U. Ugh. I gotta move on from this. Sorry.
Let's wrap it up with.
We got something positive for you.
Kind of positive.
What we got, Evan?
So the new Phineas and Ferb season drops tomorrow.
Wait,
or
season?
today.
Is it remake or season?
It's freaking season, dude.
New season.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. So
I'm excited.
yeah, I mean, it's look. they're running out of creative ideas, but if Phineas and Ferb is thrown in, I don't care.
Phineas and Ferb is fantastic. It's a great show.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Original creator working on it. I mean, come on now.
Hey, any way to get that guy money? That guy rules.
Yeah,
that guy
he's
rules.
awesome.
Great songs. Hard to get better than Phineas and Ferb. Fingers crossed they do this for Gravity Falls next.
Oh, please, Gravity Falls.
Come on,
please.
Disney. If you're watching this, give Alex Hurst $50 million and let him do whatever he wants. I'm telling you, everybody will freaking love it.
All right. Well, I think that's a wrap for
I
today.
think
guys.
so. Thanks for tuning in this week in Geek. Shout out Split Window as always. We'll catch you next time. Thank you so much.
All right. Bye.
Peace out. Oh, sorry, bro. I started digging into Nintendo. I just. Oh!